we ready? Okay, hi guys, Arun this side. So, like, you all send me so many questions, and today I really don't have even a single question for all of you. Sorry, I don't have a question for myself, but I have a question for all of you. You send me so many questions, so today I want to give a challenge to all the viewers who watch this daily DBA show, and this challenge is, I'm not going to say right now, because as I always say, I want to give you a concept. I'll talk about a concept. That concept you have to use in order to answer my question, right? So whoever gives the perfect answer to this DBA challenge will get a personal gift from myself. I should not say, but you might get a free course from DBA Genesis website also. Free paid course, 100% free. I think that's the way to put in. Alright, so once again guys, this show is a DBA challenge, 100%. I have one question, I'll give you one concept, you have to come up with the answer, and then the person who gives me the best answer will be getting a free DBA Genesis paid course from my end. Let's jump over to the board. So guys, the concept that I have in my mind is, let us understand how airports work, because based on this concept I'll be asking one question to all of you. Now assume this. Okay, I'm taking some assumptions. Of course, airport example is not an exact fit to what I want to talk about, but I guess it is closest fit to what I want to talk, right? So let us first assume and let us build our own airport, and then we'll try to see how we can build the concept. So this concept is very close to me, and I think you all will love this concept. So let us assume we are building an airport name called as Tom. So Tom Airport, right? So in this airport, what we are going to do is, this airport allows people or passengers to travel only to one destination, okay? Right? So passengers are traveling from the Tom Airport to New York. There is only one flight. No, there is only one destination, but multiple flights, all right? Now, how do we build this airport? Okay, let us start with one by one component. Let us assume we have 5 aeroplanes. So we have like, I'll try to keep it as simple as possible, guys. So this is aircraft 1, all right? So we have this second aircraft, right? And we have this third aircraft, right? Then we have the 4th aircraft, perfect. And then we have the 5th aircraft, perfect. So we have 5 aircrafts that are traveling to the New York City from this Tom Airport. Perfect, amazing. Now the thing is, all the 5 aircrafts are ready to travel. Now the question is like, whichever aircrafts fill first will fly first, okay? Just an assumption, okay? Now assume there are a lot of people who are coming to this airport, right? And we have so many people who are coming. Now assume, what if there is only one counter? There is one check-in counter. So how hard will it be for the Tom Airport Authority to check one user, send it to the aeroplane, right? Check another user, send it to the next aeroplane, or maybe the same aeroplane, right? It depends. So our goal is like, whichever plane gets full, it will fly first. Okay, now assume, just an assumption, over here we have one counter. What if we increase the number of check-in counters? What will happen? Now we have 3 check-in counters. So what is the beauty about this one? The beauty is, like, people can come to any one counter, whichever is free, right? So people will come to counter number 1, or one person will come to counter number 1 when this counter clears a passenger and tells them to board one plane, right? And immediately, like, this becomes free, so the next person comes to this counter, and meanwhile the other person goes to the second counter, because second counter has asked the passenger to go to the next aeroplane. Very simple, straightforward. Now assume this one over here, right? I would like to introduce something. Like these people, or I'll keep it like this. Assume that all the people outside this area, they cannot see which counter is empty. In this case, what we are going to do is, we are going to introduce one person. Okay, this person is able to see all the people outside, and this person is also able to see which counter is free. Alright, so what happens if the first passenger is coming? So this person says, okay, first counter is free, you go to the first counter. So this passenger goes straight to the first counter, right? Then the second passenger will again checks with this guy, and this guy says that, okay, you go to the second counter, right? So this guy is assigned to the second counter. So this guy eventually will go to the third counter. Now there are another 3 new people who have come to the airport. What will happen? This guy will say, okay, the passenger who was on to the first counter is moved to the aeroplane, right? So what will happen? This new passenger will be assigned counter number 1. This passenger will again be assigned counter number 2. This passenger will be assigned counter number 3. Understand, this person over here is acting like a DNS server inside your rack. These are your scan listeners. Alright, so you have a DNS server. DNS server defines like which scan IP or the scan listener or the which counter number is free. Okay, so as you all know, like in RAC, what happens is every time that anyone tries to connect to the application, the scan will be resolved in a round robin fashion. So over here, this was a perfect example to identify, like whenever new passengers are coming, they will always be sent to the next counter, right? This is perfect. So this person is acting like a DNS server. These 3 are your scan listeners. And I think these counter numbers, I would say that these are your scan IPs. Alright, so you have DNS server, scan IPs, scan listeners running on all these 3 IP addresses. Now, the question is, you have these aeroplanes, right? So how would these counters know where to send the passenger? Because these counters should have a mechanism to know what is the load inside each aeroplane, right? For example, first plane is having 10 passengers, second plane is having 20 passengers, third plane is having 22 passengers, fourth plane is having 14 passengers, fifth plane is having 2 passengers. Now what happens? If the scan listeners know about the load inside each plane, so how would they behave? We have a new person coming into the DNS server. The DNS server says, hey, you know what, you should actually go for the scan IP3 because that is free right now. So this connection is given to the scan IP, this one, third scan IP. On this scan IP, a scan listener is running, right? Now this scan listener, scan IP, well, let's talk about scan listener. This scan listener is about to allow this passenger onto the plane, but the condition is this scan listener should allow the passenger on the plane where you have least number of passengers. So which is the plane? This is where the passenger will go, right? Now assume this, the question over here starts on our Tom airport. Who is going to inform the counter people what is the load on each aeroplane? Assume we are building some assumptions, okay? Now I am assuming like we had one person who was dealing with the check-in, right, for the passengers. Let us put another person over here who is maintaining a register where it has the plane number and it also has the connection load, or in this case passengers, right? So this guy is maintaining this register. So whenever the counter 3 is about to send the passenger to the plane, the counter 3 will contact this person. Hey Mr. XYZ, tell me which plane is having least number of passengers. So this guy will check his register and it will say that plane number 5 is having least number of passengers, that is 2. And then this counter will assign or tell this passenger, hey, you know what, you should go ahead and board the plane number 5. I guess lot of experienced DBAs got what I'm trying to talk about. This entire concept is how connections happens inside the rack. Alright, now before I ask my question, let me rub this entire airport example and let us get back to the rack example to understand it better. I'm back. Alright, for understanding how things work in rack, okay, so what happens in rack, you have a user connection. User connection comes to your scan, right? So first of all, whenever there is a user connection, it actually goes to the DNS server. DNS server will have access to 3 scan IPs, and depending on IP1, IP2, IP3, it will resolve 1 scan IP. And let's say the 3rd scan IP is resolved. Over here you have a scan listener which is running. Perfect, scan listener is running, and this scan listener has all the details of the load on each node. I'm not going to talk about it right now. So it has something XYZ, because that's your question, okay? So it has something that has the load details about each node inside the rack. After the scan listener looks into that particular XYZ register, it actually gets to know where it has to send the connection. So for example, we have 4 node rack, okay? So on each node we have like 14 connections, 18 connections, 12 connections, 3 connections. Now what scan listener will do is, it will check this XYZ register, and this register will tell, hey, you know what, the node 4 is having least number of connections, that is 3. So this connection, this user should land onto this node. What's your DBA challenge? Now it comes to the DBA challenge. You all have to tell me, what is this inside the rack? What exactly is that term, or what exactly happens inside the rack that determines the load on each node? I would love to give you hints, but I would still want to challenge all of you as to come up with your ideas and tell me the right answer. I want to know personally from all of you, what is that inside rack that tells the scan listener what is the load on each rack node? Should we give them hints? Okay, I feel like I should give you all a hint. So let me do this thing. Try to search Google for, I'm not going to say the answer. Alright, so this is your DBA challenge, guys. You all have to find this answer. Like, what is that registry inside the rack that is trying to tell the scan listener as to where exactly the connection should land? Alright, which node is having how much load? How the rack nodes give that information to the scan listener? That's your DBA challenge, and as I mentioned earlier, we have a surprise gift for all of you, and whoever gives the correct answer will be getting a personal gift from my end. So that's all for today, guys. I think we don't have a bonus question because this is your bonus question. You all have to answer this question, put down into the comments, and I will get back to you inside the comments. Alright, till then, take care, bye bye, and I'll meet you in the next episode.